actually I regard his father, who is known as father of diabetology, a very unique kind of person. நம்ம தமிழ்நாடுக்கு தான் அந்த ஒரு ஹிஸ்ட்ரி இருக்குது. நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா in a place like Stanley Medical College, he had the foresight to think about this disease. He has written so many things about Mr. Banting and Bose. Actually quite a lot in Tamil Nadu. We deserve, we really need to acknowledge the contribution of his father and their distinguished children. So I really am privileged to get this opportunity to do this. தமிழ்நாட்டில் உலகத்திலே நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா ரொம்ப ஒரு சேலஞ்சிங்கான இருக்கிற சுச்சுவேஷன் என்னன்னாக்கா, ஒரு காலத்தில் when we were young, we were only thinking of living once in a while. ஏதோ சளி காய்ச்சல் வரும், அதுக்கு ஒரு SM டேப்லெட், சல்தாமிதாக்சல் அந்த டேப்லெட் சாப்பிடுவோம், 2 நாள் லீவ் எடுப்போம், அப்படிங்கிற நிலை மாதிரில தடுப்பூசி போட்டுட்டு இருந்தோம், வாட் எவர் வாஸ் அவைலபிள். That time also diabetes, BP and all were there. But of late, things have changed. Every day, even yesterday I found that West Nile fever, somebody passed away in Trichure. Then earlier we found Shigella. Everything, public scare in there. First I would like to assure you that when people, doctors like this are here, we need to be very safe. For quite some time we have been able to conquer any challenge which is thrown to us by this microorganism, or more importantly by non-communicable diseases. நான் எப்பவுமே சொல்றேன், 2 கண்கள், ஒன்று தாய் சேனலும், ஒன்று டிசீசஸ். இன்னொன்று அந்த டிசீசஸ்க்குள்ள அகெயின் 2 more eyes, communicable and non-communicable, and between both of them vaccine preventable and those children. And the non-communicable diseases, we are making that grave blunder of ignoring. இங்கே நான் பார்க்கும்போது the kind of deaths which take place in non-communicable, we just ignore. Somebody dies, not many people know that suicide 50 பேர் ஒரு நாளைக்கு இறக்குறாங்க. ஆனால் மார்ச் 17 ஒரு இறப்பு இல்லாத கோவிட் தான் கேப்சர் பண்றது பப்ளிக்கோட இமேஜினேஷன். இப்பவும் ஒரு பக்கத்துல கல்லூரியில இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுது. ஏன்னா அப்படி, பிகாஸ் தட்ஸ் a pandemic. But so many people are suffering out of diabetes, and he has touched a very topical subject of type 1 diabetes, like individual experiences. That is what this book has captured. I always have been interacting with it, with our fellow doctors and all. COVID has brought that to the fore, that பப்ளிக் வாண்ட்ஸ் டு நோ. முதல்லலாம் பப்ளிக்கு நம்ம இதுதான் கரெக்டுன்னு சொன்னா இல்லை, அவங்க கேட்குறாங்க, புரியணும்னு சொன்னாங்க. பத்திரிகை தொலைக்காட்சி துறையும் புட்டு அதை வைக்கிறாங்க பத்திரிகையாளர்கள் இருக்கும்போது. தே வாண்ட் அஸ் டு நோ who is the best person to speak. Not many people would have noticed that whenever I am given the duty to address the media, many a times I always say I am quoting from what public health experts say. As a secretary I can have a view, but that is not important. What experts say, அந்த மாதிரி உள்ள எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் பல காலத்தில் என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, they do research, they do peer reviewed articles, பட் லான்செட்டில் வரும். பட் காமன் பீப்புளுக்கு புரியற மாதிரியும் கொண்டு வரணுங்கிறது மை திஸ் திங். அண்ட் ஐ எம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம்லி ப்ரௌட் தட் திஸ் இஸ் 29th and 30th book. இந்த மாதிரி புத்தகங்கள் தான் ஆக்சுவலாக ரீச் ஆகி பப்ளிக்கு புரியற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஏன் இதை சொல்கிறேன்னா, மக்களை தேடி மருத்துவம்னு ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய திட்டத்தை ஆகஸ்ட் 5 ஆனரபிள் சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் இனாகிரேட் பண்ணாரு. வீடு தேடி நாங்களும் போனோம். போகும்போது யூ பிலீவ் இட் ஆர் நாட், we found so many people who were in denial of diabetes. நாங்கள் அப்படியே செக் பண்ணும்போது அந்த பாட்டிக்கு விட முடியல. சரிப்பா, உன்னோட பிபியும் சுகர் பார்த்தா ஒருத்தருக்கு 500. அதில் நீங்கள் நம்பரை பார்த்தா இட்ஸ் ஸோ ஃப்ரைட்டனிங். 70.94 lakh பெனிஃபிஷியரிஸ்னா 25.42 are first time diagnosed for BP, 19 for diagnosed for sugar, 19 lakh for sugar, 14.42 both. So totally it is 62.53 lakhs. 88% of the first time takers are, they are not knowing. ஆனால் இன்னைக்கு சயின்டிஃபிக் உலகத்தில் இவங்க சொல்யூஷன் கண்டுபிடிச்சு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. 100 years back, if a type 1 diabetes born is destined to die in 2 to 3 years. Today they have brought that to people, and they have brought the experiences of people, and the ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டோரியும் it captures a kind of scenario for people to involve and get involved and ensure that they take advantages of these pluses which they have brought. Every complication of diabetes they have a solution, every facet they have a solution. And with these 2 books, and second one is again idilum sirappu, தமிழ்லயே புரியற மாதிரி எல்லாருக்கும் போற மாதிரி இருக்கும். So it is our duty to acknowledge that. While this is the final one last point I would like to make is that அவங்க எப்பவுமே ரொம்ப வருத்தப்படுறது ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ், லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் மாடிஃபிகேஷன், எக்ஸசைஸ். இது 2 பண்ணால் மருந்து அடிச்சேன். ஆனால் நம்ம இப்போ இருக்கிற சூழலில் nobody gives. நானே ஒரு தடவை கேட்பேன், சார் தூக்கமே இல்லை, எக்ஸசைஸே பண்ண முடியல, உணவுல நான் கண்ட்ரோல் இல்லை, எனக்கு ஒரு மருந்து கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு தான் இவங்ககிட்ட கேட்குறாங்க. ஸோ நம்ம இவங்களுக்கு எக்ஸ்பர்ட்டுக்கு செவி சாய்ச்சி, if we folk, hear them and go by their guidances, I am sure so much of wonderful quality of life improvement people can say. This book is one more step for those people with type 1 diabetes to understand that they have a wonderful life ahead. There are numerous examples of success stories of type 1 diabetes leading and life fully. அந்த மாதிரி உள்ள எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லி நெகட்டிவிட்டியில வெளியில் எடுத்து நம்ம மருத்துவர்கள் இவங்க வந்து they have the capacity to find solution for everything. I really admire and I feel that we also need to really focus and applaud the translation research which they do, which it is a way why last time covid la இருக்கிற இறப்பு இப்போ இல்லாத காரணம் ஒரு பக்கம் நோய் தடுப்பு, இன்னொரு பக்கம் clinical improvement which they have done. With these few words I really feel honored that he thought I should come and release, get an opportunity to release the first book. I acknowledge you, sir. I really, we are proud of you. Many more Padmas you should get. All the best to you.
He is beyond politics, and that just shows the person who he is. And Dr. Sudha Sheshan, we are very, very happy to have a Vice Chancellor like her heading the Tamil Nadu Dr. NGR Medical University. In pure chaste Tamil she spoke, but we asked her to speak in English, she was spoken in even more chaste English. So she is so bilingual, so widely read. Was Dr. Thillai, thank you so much for your kind words. He's one person, the reason I called him is, every single time something comes in the newspaper or something, not now, for the last 20 years, first message I'll get in the morning will be, only then I'll know something has come in the paper. Dr. Thillai will say, congratulations sir. Then I'll ask him, what is it for? No, the Hindu has written about you. So I have you opened the Hindu. So he is the first person to pick that up. Thank you. We are all blessed. So the first thing people ask me is, when is your next book coming? I said, oh God, we haven't even released this one, so give it a chance. But passion for writing has always been there. In fact, I wanted to be a writer. That comes out in my autobiography. It's my father who actually told me you can do medical writing as well. He kind of tempted me at that time, and that's how I came to medicine. Much has been told about the 100th year of insulin, and sir, it's not 2 years after without insulin. 2 years is a dream. It's few weeks, 2 months on an average. 1 year and 2 years, these children lived only if they were starved. So they went into the Allen starvation diet. They'd be pushed there and given nothing to eat. Some vegetables, maybe a piece of chicken occasionally. The total calories is 300-400 calories per day. They wasted away, worse than any cancer, worse than any TB or both of them put together, until they died. And only if they starved. And that too they got only few months of their life. And the interesting story about Elizabeth Hughes, who when her father stood for the election, presidential election, and lost to Woodrow Wilson. And then he became the Secretary of State. And he heard that some fellow in Toronto had discovered something. And then his wife goes and tells her husband, why can't you, because their 11-year-old daughter was almost dying due to type 1 diabetes. And they said, why can't you go and tell the president, he's your friend, go and tell him and send her to Toronto or get the insulin from there if there's something like this. And he says no. He says it's breaking ethics. Just because I am in power, how can I use it for my child? There are a lot of others waiting. Then his wife tells him, so you want Elizabeth to die? You know? So whole night he sits and thinks about it. Should I let Elizabeth die and become an ethical person? Or for the sake of my daughter, I put in a word to the President of US to influence and get influence from my child. And what happened was his wife tells him, if you don't tell the President, I'm going to take her to Toronto. So she's actually locked up in the Allen's place. And it's like a jail. So she quietly goes there, bribes that fellow, takes her out in the middle of the night and goes straight to Toronto. And Banting says, I can't see her like that, you don't have an appointment with me. And she said, I'll sit here till you give the insulin to my child. And that's how Elizabeth Hughes gets the first insulin. And after that, she survives, of course. She lives up to the age of 80. And because she thinks that her father will get a bad name because she broke the queue, she changed her name. She went to another place and lived there. Until she died, nobody knew who she was. It's only her grandson who discovered the whole thing, and then the book came out. Discovery, the book came out. So a lot of that research I had read before writing this book, and then I decided I'll go to Toronto, spend time there. There met Dr. Gary Lewis, the present director of Banting and West Institute, who showed me Banting's glasses, the colorimeter that West used. It was really the goosebumps were real narration. It was summer, so it wasn't cold. So, but then I started asking, okay, we all heard of Leonard Thompson and Elizabeth Hugh, but who's the first Indian who got it? So I wrote all the seniors, my seniors, and said, do you know anything? Then I wrote all the insulin companies and said, tell me, when did insulin come to India? Nobody had a clue. So I said, let me start. Somebody, this cannot go alone. You have to find out. So I spent 8 months researching, and then the papers started coming out one by one. Actually, I got from Toronto University. There's nothing here in India. I couldn't get anything. But they had preserved all the Indian literature. So from there I got everything, and then got all Banting's handwritten things, and everything I got from there. It's a treasure, actually. And that's how this book came.